I decided to start wrestling. So like I'm going to maybe call some people out during this interview just from talking about PWS, but I mean it with love. So like I would have to, you run the ropes. That's part of training. You run the ropes for 5 minutes or 3 minutes and you do 100 squats and whatever the hell you air squats, whatever you got to do. And like, I was super out of shape. Like I will admit that I was incredibly out of shape, but they were also kind of a dick to me. So like there would
Did you start on that day? Did you start on that day? That first day you showed up? Were they like getting there?
Next training after that. I don't think I like started that day. I think that was kind of just like, is this for me? Let's see. And then, if you're interested, come tomorrow. We're training, be ready. So like, I probably started like the next available day. But like after a couple weeks of that, like I was just busting my ass and I was hurting. But something that also really like affected me in the beginning was like getting out of the mindset of like, this is not a real fight and you're not really trying to hurt these people and you don't really want to choke them out. And like, I didn't know how to like sell. I didn't know how to like react and do the whole act thing. I was just in there to destroy people. Like, and there would be times during training where they'd have to be like, yo, what are you doing? Stop. And like yell at me and be like, chill. Like, what are you're too tight. You're too whatever. Like whatever the fuck word they used. And like, that was something that took a lot of learning. Like even till the end of it, hold on. I want to call. It wasn't something that I was able to like kind of reel in, I had to reteach myself how to do these moves in the nice way and like really be soft and easy. And like, I dated a wrestler during that time. So that did give me a little bit more training and a little bit more practice, but that was inevitably the end of my connection with PWS. So it was bittersweet, but, I mean, if it weren't for PWS, I wouldn't have been able to probably even wind up competing, because the reason why I was talking about the gym is like when I started wrestling, I was in zero shape. So I needed a goal to get my ass in the gym every day. And that goal wound up being competing, because it was giving me the ability to still get up on stage. Because, when I was training at PWS, I wasn't wrestling. There was no shows for me. There was nothing available in terms of work. And I still like had that desire to like put myself out there and like be seen by people and like do something more. And like, I just felt like I was like sitting in the back seat watching all my friends get signed. All my friends are traveling. All my friends are doing this. Like people telling me, you're next. Don't worry. You're next. You're on the list. You're coming up. And like nothing fucking happening. So it's like disheartening. So you want to put something like, at least I knew if I put myself into the fitness industry, like I'd get back what I put in, because it's not like necessarily political like it is in wrestling. Like, so I was able to earn whatever I deserved. And that's through the past few years, like really being able to see, like, I didn't deserve to win 5 years ago. Like I won 1 out of 4 shows and I got 6th at 2 and 7th at 1, like, so I wasn't ready. And like, I can objectively look back at that physique and say, yeah, I wasn't ready. Like granted, the bikini division back then was much softer and less muscular. Throughout the years, it's progressed, but it's hit its peak. So now like, I know what they're looking for in the division and I can fine tune my physique to look like that. Whereas 2015, 2016, I was an idiot and I had no idea what I was doing. I just like thought I was good enough to be on a bikini stage because I've modeled in the past. I could fucking do this, and like it's bodybuilding. It truly is like a full-time job. You have to dedicate yourself to the gym and to eating as much as you do to everything else in your life. Like it's just part of the cycle now. But I love it.
100%. Yeah, definitely. Like bodybuilding's, they say like it's done in the kitchen. Like I used to be a bodybuilder in my mid-20s. I got up to about 230 pounds. Right now I'm about 175. Wow. Yeah, I got up to about 230.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'11".
Wow, that's pretty big.
I got pretty big. Yeah, I got pretty big, but it was like introduction to, again, some different supplements, I'll say, some like eating just nonstop, like putting a lot of pressure on my body because that was my goal, to blow up. I grew up idolizing Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, The Rock, Triple H, all these massive dudes. And I was like, look, if they can do it, I can do it. Especially when you see a guy like Eddie Guerrero in wrestling start getting big and jacked like that. You're like, okay, I got a shot then. So I got disciplined. I made the gym my life and hit my goals. But at a certain point, you start getting hurt. You start messing up your system a little bit, like you started to mention, but in the guy way. Won't go too deep into that. Maybe another time we will. And it was affecting me. So I decided, my doctor eventually was like, yo, dude, time to lose some weight for your long-term health. And that became more my goal. I started boxing, kind of pivoted. And you pivoted from pro wrestling to that dream, to fitness modeling to that dream. Tell me a little bit about the discipline and the work ethic that it took from the pro wrestling business, from doing that, because that is no cakewalk. I've done 2 sessions of training pro wrestling, and both times I was dead afterwards. I was hurting, I was bleeding, I was bruised. It sucked, and it was in a backyard.
I was hungry.
Yeah,
and it was in the backyard. I was dirty.
Yeah, yep, dirty as well. Glass, it was a mess. But tell me a little bit about that work ethic and discipline that you brought from wrestling into fitness modeling.
I mean, I would say that like I had in wrestling, I really like, and I feel like there's going to be like some people who know me from wrestling who I trained with who are going to be like, yeah, right. She was like never doing anything in training or whatever. But it's like, because I didn't like being around you. Like I didn't want to be around the people there. They were toxic and they were like bad people, like overall. And like, it's hard to like have like determination and drive when you don't like, you're not comfortable in your environment, you know, like that reflects your work ethic. You don't want to like fucking give it your all because you're not getting anything back from it. And, you know, like, so I feel like that's what I want to say. Like I had that drive ever since I was a kid. I've always been like I'm a Capricorn, you know, like I don't know if anyone gives a fuck about astrology, but like we're determined fucking people. Like I have been like that since day one. I've been a straight A student my entire life. I had full scholarships to college. Like I had a full ride. I've known what I've wanted. I've always had a very like entrepreneurial and business mindset. And like I've done the little steps that I had to take to try and get myself to the next level, always like advancing. But in the pro wrestling industry, like I said, it's political and it's like you're limited. I was limited. Not most people should not be, but I was limited on the shows I could do based on where I was training. And it was just like a vicious, toxic circle, like I keep saying. So I had to basically move that drive and like work ethic over to something that I knew I was going to be able to get the rewards from. And like in 2015, the first 2 shows I did, I gave it my absolute all. Like I was the girl bringing my protein pancakes in my bag to the bar to hang out with my friends with my gallon of water because I wasn't drinking that night. You know, like I was obsessive. I was meticulous. I wanted to take my body to a level that I could never take it. Also because I had a shit ton of people who I wanted to prove wrong along the way. A boyfriend, wrestler who I was with, who literally said to my face, I don't think you'll be able to do it. And then at the end saying, I didn't ever think you were going to be able to do this show. I didn't ever think you were going to go through with it. And like just little digs like that, like along the way that, you know, I put up a pretty strong front, but there's only so much you should have to take until eventually you can be like, fuck you all. Like, I'm going to prove you wrong. Like, it's cool to be like, yeah, it doesn't bother me, but I think it's even cooler to tell everyone to go fuck themselves eventually, you know,
me too. I'm with you on that.
I am sensitive. Like I look like hard and maybe like people are intimidated. They don't want to come up and talk to me. But like, once you get to know me, like I'm a very fun, like lighthearted person. I mean well for everyone. I want everyone to win, you know, but like not everyone feels that way. And like something I had to experience and actually bringing it back to wrestling is something that I learned back then was like, everyone wants to see you do well, but never better than they are. Like everyone coming up in wrestling, oh man, you're going to go be an extra at WWE. That's awesome. That's so cool, dude. Good luck. Oh, bro, you're going to ROH today. That's amazing. That's awesome. Good luck. But then the second you wind up going somewhere where they've never been before, all of a sudden they got something to say about what you're doing. And like, you're not deserving of it. And you haven't paid your dues and you're not humble enough. Like those are the favorite lines that I've heard in the wrestling industry is like, she hasn't paid her dues, she doesn't have enough experience, and she's not humble enough. Like, I've literally been at wrestling shows where I've had like a steel chair smashed into the back of my chair just for fun, just for shits and giggles to see how I react. And then when I bug out, it's because I'm not humble enough. Am I fucked up or are they? Like, so how much do I got to sit here and deal with when I'm trying to I just want to wrestle. I just want to fucking be on a show and work. But I got to go through this fuckery in the meantime just to prove that I've paid my dues. That's paying your dues. Like, letting someone treat you like shit. No, that's not how these guys we idolize and look up to came up in the industry. That's not the bullshit that they had to go through. And I know that the girls in the fucking industry who are signed did not have to go through that stuff. Most of them have come up in a normal way. They fucking worked their way up. They didn't have to like do this with that one and suck up to that one and whatever the hell else is involved. Like, no, but sometimes people see someone, easy target, let's fuck with her. And I happen to be that easy target for these guys at PWS, you know, like, so